Hey guys, what's up? Look, I wanted to talk about something kind of first off before I do the reading and stuff. But MK Ultra, Destiny Swap, that's like the same thing for those that don't know. But there may be people that have been through this MK Ultra, obviously, and don't know it yet. Like they're not aware. So that's why you kind of want to pay attention to triggers, because that's usually your sign that that would be, an indication. And there's different degrees and levels that it's done through, okay? But this is about mind control. It's about, controlling people. All right? So, not to have any fear, but we're dealing with people in other countries, people here, wherever it is, where they're dealing with someone that's trying to control them, tell them what to do, and force them against their will. And they do things that make people feel like, they can't get out, they can't get free. I mean, they take things from them so that they don't have, the proper, identification, da da da. So, this is what this is about as well. Ascension, if you, go through this process, this can help you with everything. And you need to think outside the box. What that means is think outside of what you've been told in this world that was normal. You know what I'm saying? For the past. It's time to, grow up and think for ourselves, right? So that we, if we're using our heart, we can, figure out things. But when people do things, like MK Ultra or Destiny Swap, but they're doing that so that your chakras are shut down and you don't have the abilities you would have if they were, working proper, okay? So this is about, seeking to heal that, which is, there's frequency music to heal the chakras. There's nature, spending time out in nature, animals. It's being connected to, something that's real, not like the material world, like buildings and those kind of things. Look at it like this. Look at it like your right side of your brain is like the nature and all that stuff. And the left side of your brain would be like, the logical and the buildings and the technical stuff and stuff like that. And you need both sides working and merge the two, which would be, all of the technical and buildings and da-da-da-da with the nature put together, That would help a lot. That's the way it's actually supposed to be, where the animals have a place and the people have a place, right? So, but, something to point out here, okay? Because I've been through a lot, things that I should have, it's a miracle that I'm alive, okay? I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the divine, if it wasn't for God. People can say this, can say that, but there's just no way that someone can say that when I've been through all these things I've been through. People trying to kill me. Apparently, I guess one of their nicknames for me is Cat, like 9 Lives or something like that, because they're like trying to kill me. But this has to do with, MK Ultra. What do they call that? The Black Soldiers or something like that. Who was it was Steve, and I can't remember his last name, but he talks about that, the Black Soldiers. But that comes from MK Ultra. They're MK Ultra, and I posted in that on the on my YouTube channel, Expect the Unexpected, but it's spelled XPECT. Go to the post or community part and look at that, because I posted something on there about the MK Ultra. You might want to check that out. It's quite interesting. All right, let's get on with the reading. But God forgives what you don't know. Like say there's something you didn't know until you knew it because you were MK Ultra, because they, barbarically deleted your brain, because they like to do, electric shock therapy and stuff like that. You have to think about how many, this has gone on way in the past. If you look even further back, if you look all the way back to even Joan of Arc, what do you think that happened to her? That's called Destiny Swap. And so on. So, And to get out of that, it takes time. Okay? It does. It's just not an instantaneous thing, but it can take something kind of, jarring, something jarring said, or whatever it is that, or something that they see, or whatever it is, that wakes them up out of it. It's like that snap, that realization. So we have people, like I said, all over the world that they need this help, and they need to know this. People that have been lied to about things and don't realize it. Like, were you told to believe something, but, did you search your heart to know the truth, right? Where are you going to find truth? You're going to find that in your heart. Where do you find God? Where do you find Christ? In your heart, okay? So if they've done something, which is MK Ultra people, then you need this. But everyone needs this, because this is, they put it out everywhere. I mean, if you watch TV, depending on what you're watching, you probably getting some doses of it, don't even realize it. It's about, power and control, and people that are inverted, backwards, that don't have their heart intact and going and working, they're going to be inverted. They're going to be out to copy God, to prove that they're God. It's because they're inverted. They're turning around backwards. All right, universe, what have we got? How can we help the collective? How do you need help today? What needs to come out? What needs to be said? Let the cards flip in the direction that you need it to. Oops. Let's see what is going on. This, it really is about helping people. So yeah, when you can share it with people that are from other countries, maybe they live here, but they have family, back home. There's people that are suffering, and it doesn't matter, if people need this. They need, help, and to know that they can reach out to something, as a means, but it, got to be used the correct way. Just because there's been something put onto everyone, you got to look at where did it come from. You know what I'm saying? It's, you definitely need to understand know thyself and the world that you're in, be in the world but not of it, right? Okie doke, what have we got? Frustrated, upright. I'm irritated with what I can't control and want you to feel as badly as I do. Okay, someone's feeling that way out there. Sabotage. Okay, y'all, beware. I'm deliberately working to undermine your efforts and place obstacles in your path. Okay, what else do we have? Mirror. Reversed. Okay, so the mirror, when it's upright, says, I reflect back what you project, revealing truths about yourself through what you see in me. So it's in reverse. So something stopped the mirror. Loan. I'm in need of financial assistance. Okay, so apparently you need to know that. Bad news. Unfortunately, there's something difficult I need to share with you. All right, collective. Plans in reverse. So plans are blocked. Seeing you is a priority for me. I want to make plans with you, but it's reverse, so it's blocked. Goodbye in reverse. It says the moment has come to part ways. Our paths are diverging, and it's time to let go. So this is someone that won't let go. So the plans are in reverse, and goodbye in reverse. It's like they're not letting go. Deceit in reverse. I have ill intentions and may be planning on deceiving you. So it's blocked. Okay, so the plans Plans are blocked. Deceit is blocked. Goodbye. So, I'm not sure. So apparently there's not a goodbye yet. Very interesting. Okay, what else do we have? Dishonesty. Upright. Says, I will withhold information from you for my own benefit. Alright, last card. Great news. I have something amazing to share with you. Alright, so, yeah, you need to get someone that's around you, in your energy, away. Okay. Alright, some different cards. Alright. What do we have today, Spirit? Let's do some tarot. Yeah, I mean, because there's people who've been told, like, oh, that's bad or something like that. But how do you know that it's bad or whatever it is? I mean, I have definitely investigated the shit out of this, okay? It's archetypes. I mean, look at what the cards are, all right? What they say, what it is, their meaning. You can't sit there and say something is this or it's that. It's how you use it. You know, are you using it to spy on people? Then it is bad. You know, you don't use it to spy on people. You use it to help people so that they can progress. There's things that the divine will tell people to warn them, you know, to let them know something so that they're safe, you know? And that's okay. I mean, it's, you know, it's like people trying to tell the divine how to be the divine. You don't even understand this yet, you know? Those that are, you know, like that, but, yeah, you got to really, you know, heal the chakras and come up higher so that you, do know what's up, right? So, frustrated, sabotage, mirror blocked, loan, bad news, plans blocked, deceit blocked, apparently not a goodbye yet, dishonesty, but then there's great news at the end. Okay, what do we got, Spirit? Okay, on the bottom of the deck, 2 of Wands upright, which is believe in your personal power, discovery, decisions, planning. Sweet. Okay, look at what we've got. All right, we have the 4 of Cups in reverse. All right, wanting to break free, choosing happiness, accepting an invitation. All right, how can you open up to new ways of life? We have the Emperor reversed. Abuse of power, lack of discipline, domination, and control. Well, you know, that's pretty obvious there. So, all right, we have the 9 of Wands reversed. Is exhaustion, fatigue, unsure motives. We have the 7 of Wands reversed. Giving up, lack of confidence, overwhelmed. And then the 6 of Cups upright. All right. So discovery, decisions, planning. As you can see, you know, he's holding like the earth in his hand and looking out. It's like holding the globe. So it's like he's looking out and he's got like the whole world in his hands, you know, and looking out, you know, onto the horizon, right? Like it's everything before you, okay? All right, so we have the 4 of Cups, wanting to break free, choosing happiness, accepting an invitation. Okay. Then we've got the abuse of power of the Emperor reversed. Lack of discipline, domination, control. So this is about breaking free from the abuse of power and dealing with exhaustion, fatigue, unsure motives, because that's, you know, their goal is to exhaust you because they're energy vampires. So they're, you know, they're there to be around you and around your aura to, you know, energy vampire you. So you've got to back off, stay away, and you have got to learn exactly how to do what is called the Grey Rock method. It works. You know, you need to learn that, you know, learn about narcissists, the people that need that, and learn about the Grey Rock method. And you stick to it like glue. It helps you, even with evil people. That's the purpose of it, because these are people you're dealing with, you know, principles of power, because it's MK Ultra. These people have been taken over, and someone else has put someone else in them. You know, it's about taking someone over. All right. So exhaustion, fatigue, unsure motives, giving up, lack of confidence, overwhelm. Okay. Wanting to break free from abusive power, fatigued, overwhelmed. And then Six of Cups upright, which is, you know, reach out to others with gratitude and compassion. You got to have gratitude. You know, be thankful for what you do have. If you can't be thankful for that, then it's like you're not staying in your own lane. All right, but the Six of Cups is about familiarity, restoration, healing, and memories. But that's what this is about. You know, what I was just talking about even. You know, wanting to break free from abusive power, no matter who it is. Whether it's, you know, someone with a title, or it's, you know, someone that's, you know, you're a friend or a neighbor or a family member, whatever it is, you know, or someone, you know, enslaved you, took you, whatever it is. You're moving from all of that to move into, you know, having, you know, happy life, right? Being free, being able to look out, you know, to where you want to go. And if you focus on that, that's what's going to help you get there. It's like it shuts off those energy cords to what's trying to bombard your life. You know, they're trying to find a way in. Okay? So it's like you've got to treat them like, you know, they're weeds in your garden, you know, and just basically choke them out with the gray rock method. And it truly works. You know, I've been through this, and I'm telling you, with the most evil. I don't know if you really grasp that. It's condensate. I didn't want it to drip all over me. But you deal with people that are that, you know, wicked and evil. And if you really sit here and think about it, where it all comes from, there's characteristics, there's patterns, and when you come up higher and stuff like that, you're going to start seeing it come up higher as a means of healing, you know, the chakras. It changes everything. Got some more cards. Let's see, what else do we get? Staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. And it's sideways. Alright. There's something about the month of March, or could be the letter, the number 3. Alright, what else have we got? Wind chimes. Peace and harmony. Upright. Sweet. See, that's the point, is you want to move to peace and harmony, you know? And learning how to do this, you need to do the healing of the chakras so that you can see what you need to see, so that you can hear where you need to go to connect into the frequency. Alright, what else have we got, Spirit? Lion. Time to act. It was kind of like this, almost upright, so that would be like it's almost time to act. Okay. What else have we got? Nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So that's important to the collective. Cool. Alright, so we have staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. So you've got to, you know, deal with whatever is keeping you down. You know, you have to be able to look at what's blocking you, what's in the way, identify it, okay? And you've got to know about narcissists, energy vampires. I mean, like, you would study them because they're out there and you need to know about them. When you do this, you have so much more information, and you know about gray rock, and you know how to deal with them, and it's like you get like a training course in it, and you don't forget it, so that whenever you're around these type of people again, they can't control you. That's the whole purpose of this, and this is for everyone. We have people out here that are very MK Ultra and don't even know it. You know, they think that, you know, this is the way it is to go because they've been programmed it. It's been, I know what it is because I grew up with it. It's torture. So it's like, do what they want, and they're about trying to, you know, hypnotize you and make you, you know, get what it is that they want, and you're just supposed to go do it or whatever. But they're doing all this MK Ultra, you know, like poisons, drugs, whatever, blue light on the screen. They do all kinds of stuff. So you need to realize that there are people that are dealing with these issues, and that's why you have people that are doing things that it's just not normal. It's not a normal thing for these people to be, you know, going off and doing that unless something was done to them. And this can be anyone. This can be anyone, you know, from, you know, Joe down the street, or it could be, you know, entertainers. It could be anyone. There's people that are doing things that are horrific. And it's more than likely that they were MK Ultra'd into doing that because it's other people that are hiding behind all of this, okay? You know, all the stuff that they have other people MK Ultra'd into doing, so you'll look at their horror, but not see someone else's. Let me get these cards. Okay. This would be a good one to read. The Moonology, okay. And the circle cards I just read, that's the tea leaf. Trying to make a little room here. Running out of room. Alright. What have we got in the Moonology for the collector? I mean, I tell you, the cards amazed me because I'm like, this shit works. And it does. It's the frequency that you hold, the energy. And it's, I don't know, it just works. It has a lot to do with, I mean, they have the Biblical Tarot also, which if you go to Amazon and type in Biblical Tarot, there's 2 different kinds. But, I mean, oh no, what got on my card? Shit. Okay. On the bottom of the deck is expect powerful change. Yeah, I just got something on it somehow. Okay. It says nothing will come of this situation. Maybe saying the bad situation, but you know, nothing will come of it as long as you are doing the right thing. You pull your energy back. You call it all back. Say, I call all my own energy back to me, and I return, you know, anyone else's back to them, whatever, because of the MK Ultra stuff, okay? When you pray, you call out for help. Look, see? Time for healing. I'm trying to pick it up, okay. Step out of your comfort zone. There's absolute danger in the comfort zone. I don't know that people really are aware of that. It's time to release negativity. But yeah, the comfort zone is actually a dangerous place because you think that you're safe there when you're really not. And then we have a new romantic cycle begins. You're very close to achieving your goal. So, you know, do you see people, like, don't stop. Alright, now if you slip up, usually you end up going through like a course correction, something to get you right back on course, because what's meant for you is meant for you. That's why you keep going. You know, it's a don't ever stop. You keep going so that you achieve your goals. You make it because it was meant and made for you. You know, it's something that you're manifesting, right? This is about thinking outside the box of what we've been told was true and right and all this stuff, but there's more information out there, okay? But what we don't want is for people to be, held back, controlled, kept and told what they have to do, that they're, held against their will. Where these people are controlled, they're in countries and being controlled. You have one country attacking another country. What the fuck are these people doing? What you put out there comes back to you. So it's not wise. These are people that are doing things and think they're going to get away with it, but when something bad happens and they wonder why, it's because of their own actions. What you put out into this world, the energy that you put out. So like if you're a con man or woman, that energy you put out there is going to come back to you. That the bad words, negative words, witchcraft you put out there is going to come back to you. Okay, it's these people do it because it affects people and they laugh about it, but it's because there's something wrong with them because they've, been MK Ultra. I mean, when you sit here and think about it, like I said, I know where those characteristics come from. And if you were to look further back in history about things, you could really see a lot, because you need to keep in mind, there is no coincidence, and history repeats itself. But you also need to look at who, wrote history. Well, who's had control of the airwaves? Satan. So, you getting it now? I mean, like, Jordan Maxwell's got a lot of, good information, but if, he needed to remember the part, maybe he remembered at some point or saw it or whatever it was, I don't know. Or maybe I just hadn't saw that part yet. But at least up to what I've seen, he knows a good bit, but there's some of it that I don't think he saw yet or understood. That, who wrote history, that you can kind of tell where they've dressed things up that weren't that way. All right? But that's why you want to magnetize the truth to you so that you can get the truth, You can learn how to do this so that you can learn how to manifest. So instead of you chasing something, you're attracting it and bringing it right to you, so that you can move from, blockages and periods of stagnation into, your goals, where you want to get to, so you're not held back. Can you see why there would be people that would want others to not know about tarot? Because it can help them to progress to their goals. And the bad people are using it to spy, along with all the big brother. I mean, there is no need for this. There's no need of any country doing any of this to each other. Okay? Tarot can be used, but it needs to be used responsibly. It's just like a computer needs to be used responsibly. There's anything on this earth, people say, well, this is evil, and this is evil, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. It can be used for evil, or it can be used for good. It's like, do people not have that capacity to, comprehend that? It may have to do with, the MK Ultra, being MK Ultra, ultra neuralized, the whole bit, which, they like to do the shock treatment therapy, as they call it. But, these people do barbaric things and call it, medical. But it's really about what they want. People that want to... I mean, they're doing it right in Hollywood, where they're trading people out. This person is no longer this person, they're now this person, but it still seems like it's still that person. You know what I'm saying? They're switching people out right in front of people, and they're not really noticing, per se. But, just look up MK Ultra. But that is the same exact thing as a destiny swap. It's about, fracturing that person and putting another person in them. Okay? But like I said, I've got it posted in the community post, and you can watch that. It's kind of shocking, but you can learn a lot of things. And you can start seeing things like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense either. You know, why this or why that? Start asking those questions, and you start seeing more. There's a how can I put this? The matrix out there. You're looking for, you know, kind of the boundaries of the matrix and beyond it and all this stuff. In Ascension, you can do this stuff, but work on, you know, frequency music, healing all 7 chakras, balance masculine and feminine energies, you know, like the yin and yang. Hemi-sync the brain, but you got to make sure, you know, you got to start off with the root chakra, the bottom, the foundation, okay? I said it somewhere, some videos further back, that, you know, these people want to keep burying me, because that was back then, and I'm the seed, you know what I'm saying? I'll just grow a deeper and better foundation, you know? And they were hitting me with all kinds of witchcraft, voodoo, black magic, the whole gamut, and, you know, still trying to, but, you just keep going on the healing part, because that's what helps you to get there. Okay? I mean, if I can sit here and do this, you know, that's pulling on, how can I put this? It's making you a receiver and a broadcaster. That's the word I'm looking for. So that you receive information and you can broadcast information. Okay? So you can hear from the divine. Everyone can do this. You don't need this person or that person. You get a direct call line. You know, eTip on home. Elliot, you know, that old movie, E.T. And he used, a speak and spell to hack his way to talk to home. I mean, that's like gematria to me. I'm like, what? You know? Gematria is a intuitive program. And that's the gematrix.org. That will help you too. So there's all these things that can help you. And you'll be seeing it before you know it. And oh, to all my new subscribers, welcome. And y'all keep subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe and hit the, you know, all buttons so that you don't, you know, miss anything. But I want to help people wherever they are, so that they're not trapped by, you know, people that are trying to force them, you know, into this, that, the other, and it's not what they want. Everyone has the right to live free. You know, how do you sit there and, you know, control others? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't flow. You know, if you want abundance, you need that, you know, that nice flow, and you're not going to have it unless you need your heart light as a feather. It makes such a difference, y'all. If you're, how can you be creative if you are unhealed? You know, you still have trauma and stuff to deal with. And that is the way that bad people get their way in. So like, if you can be triggered, you need to heal that so that you cannot be triggered, because they use those triggers to get you to do what they want. It's their puppet strings, you know? All right, y'all. God bless and take care.